Jim and Carol, welcome today. We're so thankful you're here. And God is going to bless people through your lives. He uses even the pain and the suffering we go through to make a life message for others. God never, ever fails. He is our resource, and the Bible calls Him the shelter in the time of storm, and you have found Him to be that. And I wanted to open with a scripture from the Psalm that says, those who find their strength in the Lord, and remember, not that you're strong, but He's strong. Those that find their strength in the Lord, when they walk through the valley of weeping, God will bring them into a place where there's springs of living water. Yes. And that comes as you experience God's plan through suffering. When He takes the picture of your life and paints something beautiful where the tears were. Yes. So welcome. And today we're going to talk about your precious baby daughter, the baby of 4 daughters, who died in the past 6 months, I believe about 6 months ago.
Today is 7.
Yes, and I want you to tell us about her childhood. Each one of you, tell us the things you remember that were significant about her childhood.
Well, first off, she was 5 years behind my 3rd daughter because we were told we couldn't have another child. And we were surprised when the doctor told that she was going to be born. We were blessed with that. As she was growing up, she was a very happy child. She liked to make people laugh. She was very joyful, laughing all the time. As she went through school, one of the things that she loved to achieve the best that she could. She would try to be a perfectionist. She tried to do everything the way that she thought other people thought. She always was worried about what other people said. As she grew up with junior high, went through puberty and things like that, she'd come and talk to her mom and dad and ask questions, and she wanted to know. And she's kind of was a late bloomer. She didn't develop very soon, and she wanted to know, the boys, all like these other girls. And I told her one time, I sat down and told her, I says, you're a late bloomer. I was a late bloomer. It's hereditary, and your time will come, and they'll come to you. But right now, enjoy your life. So she went out of that, went into high school, and she had 3 older sisters that went through high school. And we told them all 4 of them, these would be your 4 best years. That we know our past experiences, and just be your 4th visit for her 3 older sisters. Went to school, and they kind of went through, did some things, and kind of just made it through school, and they got out, and they all got married and blessed with marriage. But this one came in and says, Mom and Dad, are you ready for the ride?
And she became a cheerleader.
She did everything. She was a student council. She was a head cheerleader her freshman year. Then the last 3 years, she was the head cheerleader for the varsity team. She was on SAD, which is I had to look at, but the Students Against Destructive Decisions. She was with PALS. She went to elementary schools and helped them out. She helped a lot of community activities with my job and other things. So she was always out there helping and doing everything possible to do things that it made her life joyful.
And then she went to San Jack College.
When she graduated with honors, from LaPorte High School. She got accepted at Stephen F. Austin in pre-med.
Oh, really?
And she went there for a semester, and then she decided she wanted to come back home. As most young kids, when they go out and they're not used to it, they get out there and they say rather come back home. So she went to San Jack, and she finished her associate's degree there and graduated San Jack. And then her next step was she was going to go be accepted at Lamar University, and that's where she had gone to, is Beaumont, to be there. And she was taking night courses. Not night courses, internet courses with San Jack on that part. But
now, she grew up in church, didn't she?
She grew up in church.
She attended church. How many of her years would you say Carol was spent in church?
Since she was 6.
So most of her years she
14.
was in a very strong church where she had given her heart to the Lord.
Yes, ma'am.
But something happened that caused her to get prescription drugs, and what was that?
She felt like she was stressed to the point that she couldn't concentrate, and she just felt like she needed something to calm her, to get her
And you didn't know she was going to get those.
No.
Some friends had told her that this doctor would give her something to calm her down.
Yes.
And it was a mood-altering
Yes.
drug. And when did you find out that she was taking these?
I had gotten an explanation of benefits from our insurance denying the claim for the doctor. I didn't recognize the doctor's name. They needed a receipt of her college hours so that the insurance would pay. And so when she got home, I asked her who the doctor was, because I didn't recognize the name. And she told me that she was a psychiatrist that she had chose to go to.
You were concerned then somewhat?
Yes, I told her I didn't feel that her stress level was to that point. I didn't feel that she really needed to be taking them. But when you have a child 19, almost 20, you try to let them do what they think is best for them.
And you presume that she was getting therapy through this doctor that prescribed that medicine?
Yes,
but she was not.
She was not.
And so she went on to live in Beaumont, Texas.
Yes,
and that was this past year.
Yes.
And tell us about the night that you knew she was in distress.
I got a call at 2:15 in the morning from a friend of hers telling me that I need to call and check on her, that she didn't sound good.
I want to say right here to our friends online, call the prayer line now. I'm telling you, there are those out there, Carol and Jim, that are suffering through these things, and your advice today can help people to be more alert, because I heard you say that you wish you'd have been more alert, and we want to share this.
Yes.
There are answers, and there is hope for those that are suffering from depression, discouragement, suicidal thoughts.
Oh, yes.
God has answers. So you got a call from a friend?
Yes. And so I called her, and I asked her what was going on. And she told me that she had taken some pills. And I started asking her why. And she couldn't answer me. So I just started telling her that I loved her. And
could you tell that she was having trouble?
Oh, yes.
In distress?
Yes.
She was breathing hard?
Yes. Then I handed the phone to her dad. I took his cell phone and started calling around, called 911 to try and get to the Beaumont police. I gave the Beaumont police the address. They kept me online for about 15 minutes. The dispatcher told me that he would call me back.
And you had Jana on another phone.
I had given him...
And you were holding the phone, Jim.
And I was holding the phone, and she had told me what she had done and that she couldn't move. And I kept telling her, get to Garrett, get to Garrett. Garrett was her fiance that lived in the apartment. He was in the other room. And
he was not aware that she was feeling this distress.
At the time, I didn't know anything was going on in that room. So.
And he had left his cell phone where?
In the bathroom. He said he never did that before. And I was saying, get to Garrett, get to Garrett. And the only thing that if I would have known now, I would have told her I loved her and let's start praying. But I
know.
Never in my farthest dreams thought that my daughter...
You thought you could fight this thing out.
By myself.
And get her through it.
Get her through it.
And you started driving to Beaumont.
Yes, ma'am.
And you were on the phone with the police and the paramedics.
She actually had both phones in both